So for Batman Arkham Knight, to add more like to the lore, the Rocksteady and I believe DC Studios made a comic book series called Batman Arkham Knight Genesis, which basically tells like Jason's story leading up to the events of Batman Arkham Knight. And I also learned there's actually a lot of comics, like there are some comics for Batman Arkham City and for Arkham Knight, like for the game as I was reading Arkham Knight Genesis. But anyways, for this video, I'm kind of just going to talk about things that most other people don't talk about in their videos. Obviously, I'm going to restate stuff that's already been said, but I'm going to go over stuff that hasn't been stated or otherwise like introduced by other YouTubers. So, from what I've seen from most videos, it shows well, the comic starts with the Arkham Knight killing Ratcatcher, but what most of them don't talk about is that Ratcatcher was getting killed because Arkham Knight was protecting Hush, who was trying to get out of Arkham City, and Ratcatcher was down there in the sewers as Hush was trying to escape. And Hush, who looks like Bruce Wayne, was trying to escape with two police officers who believed he was Bruce Wayne. And Hush killed the two cops and he was trying to kill Hush, but then Arkham Knight intervenes and then makes this whole monologue like, oh, people would think I'm dead, but I'm not, and I'll make a return, just like with Penguin. And then this is where Arkham Knight kills him, and then he saves Hush. I'm not exactly sure why he saves Hush. I don't even think it was mentioned in the comic at all. But yeah, this is the first thing that I noticed that most people don't ever talk about. So the next thing I noticed that most people don't talk about is that the comics actually go over Jason Todd's backstory, like before he becomes Robin and before Joker captures him. So it introduces us to his parents, Catherine Todd, who basically just tells us that, oh, that's his mom, and then introduces us to his dad, Willis Todd, who was a goon for Sal Maroni, but he was not very good at it because he couldn't get money for Sal Maroni, which is why the comics actually made his parents to look like really bad. That his parents tried to sell Jason Todd to Sal Maroni, but Maroni wouldn't take him. So Jason Todd's parents would tell Jason while he was growing up like he was such a waste of space that basically they couldn't even sell him off. And then by the time Jason Todd was 15, his parents got shot by Sal Maroni, so he was left without parents. And then Jason made a deal with Sal Maroni to get a few like blocks to kind of just go and steal from people. And that's kind of the whole backstory until Jason meets Batman. In Arkham Knight Genesis, these comics stray from the usual story of how Jason met Batman, where Jason would steal the wheels off the Batmobile and then Batman would catch him. In Arkham Knight Genesis, Jason would meet Batman by seeing Joker going after Batman, and Joker would have the upper hand on Batman, and Batman would kind of be like bruised and battered from the encounter because Joker has like this kind of, I would say like robot to kind of help him fight Batman. And then this is where Jason, out of nowhere, he doesn't even know why himself, he decides to go and save Batman from a killing blow. And then this is where Joker is kind of like, oh, okay, you want to be a hero? So then he starts to kind of go after Jason a bit, and then that's when Batman comes back in and saves Jason. And then this is where Batman kind of like sees Jason and the situation he's living in. And this is how Batman decides to like do some good for him for saving him by like giving him a scholarship to go to a new school, like get boarding and his like own house and food and stuff. And this is where Jason's kind of like, oh, I'm gonna take this opportunity. And this is also how Batman like recruits Jason, because then one day as Jason is like excelling in school, he's just in his dorm room, and then Batman comes in, he's like, let's see what else you can do. And that's basically how Jason became Jason became Robin in this universe. So the main reason I made this video was because I always wondered how Joker even captured Jason, like how exactly he did, versus like the one little story we get from Arkham Knight. And because most YouTubers just tell us about like, oh, he got captured and then he got tortured in Arkham Asylum. But in Arkham Knight Genesis, from what I read, Jason actually gets captured because like after I don't know how long, maybe a few years of being under Batman, in this universe, Jason actually was like a good listener and decided to just listen to whatever Batman said. But over the time, Jason got really tired of just being there to just do whatever Batman said, because he felt like Batman treated him more like an assistant than a partner. And then one day when Joker was running away from Batman, Batman got like hit or something, and then Joker was running away, and Jason got like really angry, and he's like, you know what, Batman, I'm gonna go in and try and get him myself then. And that's when Batman yelled no, as Jason went like around the corner and Joker was right there. So then as soon as Jason turned the corner, Joker would explode something that would like separate Batman from Joker and Jason. So Batman would be blown away and he's just yelling no the whole time. And then Joker grabs onto Jason during the blast so that Jason can't escape. And then somehow Jason gets knocked out from the blast, but Joker doesn't. And then Joker just drags the unconscious Jason to drags the unconscious Jason to Arkham Asylum, and this is basically how Jason got captured. Which, I mean, I kind of think is kind of dumb, but I mean, I don't know. That's just up to interpretation, I guess. So we all know that Jason was tortured in Arkham Asylum for over a year with Joker. But the second biggest reason I want to make this video, and something that I was also like questioning, was how Joker got away with it for so long, even like before Batman got into the asylum and before the events of Batman Arkham Asylum. So the comics actually show us that Joker got away with it because he got help from Officer Bowles, who would give him free time and like lead him down to the basement and make sure that nobody else would go down there and see Jason. And this is where Joker would torture him, and Harley would help too. Jason would get punched by basically like a lot of the villains. He would get brutalized by people like Killer Croc, Black Mask, Two-Face, Penguin, and then so on. And then he also just got tortured a lot. He got hit with crowbars. He just got hit a lot. There was even a panel where Harley kind of just like waterboarded Jason because she would get jealous that Joker would spend more time on Jason instead of paying attention to her. In the game Arkham Knight, we do see Batman's like interpretation of how he saw the video that Joker sent him killing Jason. In the comics, it actually tells us that Jason did actually get shot, versus what a lot of people speculate was that like, oh, that Joker pretended to shoot him and just missed him. But in the comics, he actually did shoot Jason. And the way he survived was that they had a doctor look at Jason after he gets shot, and the doctor tells them that he'll survive and he'll be fine, but he only survived because basically the armor that Jason had on from his Robin outfit took most of the hit from the shot, since Joker basically only let Jason wear that the whole time he was torturing Jason. So Jason just survived because he had armor on, versus what most people speculated was that Joker just missed Jason and made it look like Jason got shot and killed. We all know that Joker torturing Jason is what caused Jason to basically hate Batman. But like, what exactly caused Jason to finally get okay with killing? And for this part, what I will talk about is that Joker, like, he was torturing Jason for a while, and then this is like when Harley kind of waterboarded him, and then she would come out and Joker would introduce us to actually Catman and Blockbuster, who never show up in the Arkham series, which would have been cool to see, but whatever. Anyways, Joker gets them to wear Batman outfits to kind of just like torture Jason some more, to be like, he could have saved you but he didn't. And then they would beat up Jason dressed up as Batman. And then this is when Joker would give Jason a gun, and Jason he would be so mad, and this is when he would snap, and he would shoot both Blockbuster and Catman, killing them, which is why we never see them in the Arkham series. And this is what gets Jason to be okay with killing, and this is kind of the point, like, right before the events of Batman Arkham Asylum take place. And yeah, this is kind of just how Jason got okay with killing, and what really caused him to turn. So to get out of Arkham Asylum, Jason got out basically like during the beginning of Arkham Asylum, the game Arkham Asylum. And the way he did that was by enlisting Deathstroke to help him, because as Jason was trying to escape, as all the riots were happening during the events of Arkham Asylum, Deathstroke was actually hired by Joker to keep Jason in Arkham Asylum, or to just kill him. And as he was getting ready to kill Jason, Jason says, "I'll pay you triple whatever Joker's paying you to get me out of here." And Deathstroke agrees with him because he wants the money. And then that's when they both escape, and Jason's like, "Yeah, you're not going to be working for Joker anymore because now I'm hiring you." But the big question is, how did he actually get money to pay Deathstroke? So the comics show us that Jason got the money by breaking into Bruce Wayne's tower, the one you go to a lot in Arkham Knight. And he basically just steals money from Bruce Wayne's account and uses that to pay for Deathstroke's help. And in the picture, you see that's him taking the money, and he's just wearing Deathstroke's mask because he doesn't want to be caught by Batman's computers. So that's the reason he has Deathstroke's mask on, and that's not Deathstroke getting the money. Okay, I don't really consider this a detail, but I wanted to get this video to be a 10 detail video instead of 9 details. So one of the things that the comics like iterate was kind of like, in my eyes, is that Tim Drake as Robin is just a bum. Like, he's terrible. Because here in the comics, he was fighting Deathstroke in one of the issues, and he was like struggling, and then he had to get help from Nightwing that just helped try and fight off Deathstroke. And then later on, after, like, this is right after Jason steals money from Bruce, Tim is right there to try and like stop Jason from doing it, and then he goes after Jason. But then as Jason gets on the helicopter that Deathstroke's flying, Robin grabs on by using his like zipline thing, or his like little zipline hook or whatever, and instead of like trying to do anything else to try and grab on, he just dangles there. and Jason is just like, he just drops Tim, and then Deathstroke's like, he's like, don't you think that killing Robin could be a problem with Batman? And this is where Jason's kind of just like, if he can't survive this, then he has no right to call himself Robin. So yeah, Tim is still a complete bum in this universe. Alright, so the last thing I want to talk about was Jason Todd being in Arkham City. So we all know that Jason was in Arkham City. Like, we all saw the photo of him looking, or kind of like watching Robin give Batman the line launcher. But the other thing that most people, that basically nobody's talked about, because I've never seen a video talking about it, is that Jason was there actually at the fight right before Protocol 10 started, when Clayface has the knife after the building collapses on top of Batman, and Clayface goes, "How about a joke?" While he's disguised as Joker, Jason is actually watching that go on, and that's when the real Joker shows up, and he sees Jason, and Jason's like, "Wait, who are you?" And that's when Joker reveals it's actually him, the real Joker. And Jason doesn't really question it. He just kind of listens to what Joker says, and Joker's kind of just like, "You need to be something better, be something Batman couldn't be." But he's kind of like not saying it sincerely. I think he's just kind of like taunting Jason. And then obviously he's just saying a bunch of stuff to kind of like tick off Jason, you know, the usual Joker lingo. And then this is when Jason goes and like attacks Joker, and Joker kind of just like takes it for a little bit. But then crazy thing is that Joker actually fights back, and he's able to easily take on Jason. And then he takes out a sword and kind of just messes with the J he burned into Jason. And it just baffles me, because like, Joker is sick, and he just easily takes on Jason in this comic. And then after this, it basically just fast forwards to the events like right before Arkham Knight, and it just ends. The comics just end with Jason going, "Gotham is about to be reborn, as I have been." And yeah, that's about it. Those have been 10 details not talked about in the Arkham Knight Genesis comics. If you guys like this video, please consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot. And if you want more, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one.